Andy, hi. Thank you for your time today.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm great. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for asking me for the interview.
No, thank you for taking the time
Great
to join.
to chat to you. So,
Thank you for taking the time to join, and thank you for being part of this. Um, I think that these interviews and these conversations with people from Intent are really important to demonstrate the wealth of experience and knowledge with Intent and the resources that exist, not just thinking and book recommendations and conversations around questions, but actually the individuals. And I think you have a really interesting story, and the work you do, I think, could benefit a lot of people. So thank you for your time today.
no problem at all.
It's You have the work you're doing now is really fascinating, um, and I think resonates with me a lot, and I hope will resonate with quite a few people who watch this video. So, just to dive straight into it, can you kind of talk a bit about your background and how you came to do what it is you do now, just to give people a little flavour of it?
Yeah, of course. So, um, I guess I kind of start backwards. What I'm doing now is I'm a confidence expert. So I'm a speaker and a coach and a trainer around confidence. One of the ways I do that is using something called NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. And it's kind of a way of connecting with the way the mind works,
Hmm.
because the mind is our driver, our unconscious mind in particular. And if you know a little bit more about how that works and some great tools and techniques and understanding about the brain itself and the way that we can learn and unlearn and relearn and kind of affect the way that our brain flows and fluctuates, then actually there's lots of really useful things that you can do with that to kind of keep yourself focused.
Hmm.
And I very much got into this about 6 years ago. So in a former life, I used to be a website developer. So I would be developing, shopping cart systems and websites and all those sorts of things. I did, mostly small businesses. I was kind of part business mentoring coach and part website developer. Although I guess I probably never had that formal title of coach before. And so I got into NLP because I very much had some personal, let's say, moments in your life where things didn't go very well.
Mm-hmm.
And about 6 years ago, I ended up back home with my parents. I split up with my wife at the time, and I was 23 stone as well. And I remember seeing something, and it was almost 6 years ago, this Christmas Eve, which was a picture of me at that Christmas time at a party. Um, we were at some friend's house, and I saw that picture and thought, oh, God, I really hate that person. I don't recognise that person. They're sort of smiling, but that's not really them. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll get the picture up.
Hmm.
It's
Please.
one it's one I have that always reminds me, no matter what's happening. Um, yeah, this was me.
Okay. Wow. Quite a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It doesn't look like the
that
same
picture.
person. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I saw that picture and thought, oh God, there's a person who's kind of smiling, but actually inside is not happy.
Hmm.
Everything's gone. That whole life expectation of, God, you meet somebody, you get married, all that sort of stuff. And I just thought, oh God, you know what, screw this up. And I very much felt really guilty about everything that happened,
Hmm.
and all those kind of things. And I've just been running some really awful patterns of not communicating, becoming ostrich, hiding stuff. I got myself into lots of debt. I had to tell my wife about it, and we kind of tried to sort ourselves through all the stuff and all the repercussions of that. But it was just, just a failure of working, you know, working effectively, working well.
Hmm.
End up with lots and lots of debt. In a lot of ways, it might be useful. I've been gambling it or spending it on drugs or any of those kind of things. But actually, what was happening was just, we were spending more than I was earning,
Hmm.
effectively.
Yeah.
And I didn't really communicate that with my wife. I'm the man, I'm the protector.
Yeah.
I'm the person that's got to be sort of stepping up and taking control. And I didn't have the emotional intelligence to be able to go, I'm hurting and I'm
Hmm.
sad and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and,
Yeah.
actually it's not okay for you to not do these things and
No.
it's okay, So all those kind of things happen. And
Yeah.
basically, we tried to up and so on and it didn't work. So in the end, we kind of split ways as mostly amicable friends.
Okay.
And so that Christmas, I was there and looking at myself, thinking, God, what's next? What do I do now?
Yeah. Well, it's
I've got to start again.
yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I'd met somebody who was a personal trainer, and I met him at a networking event. And so we kind of had a bit of a good connection. I always, I was really good at building rapport and having connection with people. Partly why I love networking, meeting people, which is why the 10 group's great for that. You get to meet all sorts of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love meeting people face to face. I'm much more of a face to face person as well. So I try and make an effort to go to people's events when they mention them and those sorts of things. So I think that's a really good way of getting to know people.
Absolutely.
So I went along to a boot camp, a fitness camp, and I'd been working with an NLP coach who was a friend of mine, who was a master practitioner of NLP. And we're kind of doing a bit of stuff to get myself back in control, mindset, and okay, dust yourself off. What can you do now?
Yeah.
What's next? Rather than constantly looking back, which is what I was tending to do, all that regret. Oh, if only I'd done this, if only I'd made that decision at that age, if only I hadn't taken that out or bought that car on this and all this kind of stuff. All those what ifs kicking in.
Yeah.
So I went to this personal training boot camp, and the first session was a nightmare because being 23 stone, not fit at all. I thought, right, okay, I'm going to a boot camp in the evening. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a sandwich from a garage and a tin of grapefruit. Because that's going to be really helpful for my fitness and my weight loss. To be full of sugar, because that's going to really help with this fitness session. Not knowing anything about nutrition at that point. And so after the warm-up, I was clinging onto the bars in this school hall, about to faint, because basically all the blood sugar just rushed in my head. And I just wasn't feeling in a great place.
No. Okay.
But actually, the guy was really supportive. He gave me an energy bar, and I was basically able to do the warm-up and the cool-down of that first session. The rest of the time, I was just kind of standing there waiting for the
in the recovery.
lightheadedness. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but actually, was really supportive, and I'd prepaid for 10 sessions, so I was committed in my mind to doing something about it. And just through those two combinations of things, I kept going back to the groups, and the group was a really supportive place to be. Everybody was, you got paired up with people quite often doing different stations. It's kind of like a circuit training style boot camp. But he's an ex-Navy PT, and so over the course of the next 9 months, I kept going, and I lost 6.5 stone.
Wow.
And I also changed stuff on my eating and other things at the same time.
Yeah.
But those two things very much flowed, and I kind of committed to it. It went in my diary. I knew when I was going. It was regular. I got to know the people there. Became friends. The Topsy, the personal trainer, is now one of my best friends, and I'm godfather to his daughter.
Wow.
So we formed a great friendship over the years. And then started doing things like 5K runs and 10K runs, and a couple of years ago I did a triathlon as well. So setting goals and knowing a bit more about that is very much something that I worked with myself. And as part of that process, knowing that the NLP coaching really helped me get the mindset bit right.
Yeah.
Because
how did you find the NLP, like from the path you went from in terms of focusing on fitness and health to almost, I guess, rebuild good routines and your confidence in yourself in that element? How did that lead you then into the NLP?
So effectively recognizing that that kind of taking control bit for me was really the crux of that. And because I was working for myself, I was quite flexible, and so I went along to a sort of free NLP training weekend in London with the guys that trained my friend, and just thought, do you know what, this really appeals to me. And I was already looking for a kind of different career by that point, sort of 35, thinking I really don't want to keep up to date with all the skill set of the web design development. It's easy, I can produce a site in a day, that's okay, but I wasn't getting,
there's no fulfillment from it.
Out of bed going, another website to develop today. I love the technical aspect of getting something working and doing cool and things with it. But that was more of a kind of mental challenge, not a kind of leaping out of bed enthusiasm type thing. To change careers in some way as well. So I went on to this training weekend, Really enjoyed it, really connected with the people doing it, and just thought, yeah, do you know what? This is something I'm doing. So I signed up there and then with money I didn't have, to do the training course. And then sort of spoke to my parents and went, is it all right if I don't pay you rent for a year because I need to spend it on this NLP training? And basically focused on doing the web work, and I spent basically an entire year doing my NLP training in effect.
Yeah.
Probably about a third of those actually on NLP Day.
Yeah.
My practitioner a few times, my master practitioner,
Wow.
training, all those, and really just enveloping myself in practicing and doing it well.
So from that point of things not going your way and not going the direction you had hoped, obviously, I guess that can be seen as quite a knock to somebody, especially in terms of the direction of life that you thought you were on and the path that you thought you were on and the happiness that you thought you had. And actually, I think it's really interesting how necessarily you kind of uncovered your confidence, and you found ways to almost strengthen it and bring out the confidence you had in yourself, both physically and then through the NLP to change your patterns and routines, which obviously is manifested in the work you do now. Can you tell us a bit more about the work you do now?
Yeah, so there's a couple of sides to what I do now. So we've got the training company that I run, so Beyond Training Solutions, with my friend and business partner Joe. And so we basically very much do like in-house training within organisations, particularly in healthcare.
Okay.
We do a lot of work with GP surgeries, hospitals, reception teams, those kind of things about communication skills and leadership and so on. And part of that also run NLP courses. So I'm an NLP trainer. So we train people to become NLP practitioners and master practitioners. But we run courses based in London on those.
Yeah.
And that's very much about people coming along, and partly people might use it for business skills, but usually what they suddenly find is actually they have to do a lot of work on themselves, or that there's been stuff there that maybe they've not worked on enough and they want to use it as a good example of that. So they're great courses for both learning about NLP and how it works and how you can use it with other people, and also learning a lot more about yourself as well.
Yeah.
And those are fantastic courses to run. Love running those. We keep the groups quite small. There's only sort of 20 people on each of the courses. We're not it's not about mass certification for us. It's very much about the personal journey of the people that come and do the courses. And then with our master practitioner, we run those as sort of part informational learning about language and how that works, and the unconscious mind, and then part retreat, where people get to go away from their normal day-to-day stuff and really focus on themselves, breaking through all the challenges that they've had. And I guess that is about giving part of the journey that I've had to other people as well. And then on the flip side of that, also got the sort of keynote speaking and conference side of things. We run kind of workshops on how to be confident when you're speaking in public, how to be confident in your own body. Those kind of events that we kind of hold one-day workshops, and then people can spend a few days focusing on an area of their life where maybe they're not quite so confident. So it might be their health or their family or their business. And we also do retreats on those as well, where people get to spend a few days away really focusing on their life. And so there's all sorts of projects that we're kind of involved with as part of being the confidence experts. And yeah, so that's an area of the business that we're very much kind of growing.
Great.
Getting invited to speak at conferences, do bits on TV, radio, those kind of things. So, that's very much a sort of side that we're focusing on in 2017 is that confidence side of things.
Yeah. And so, apologies. Do you work with individuals, obviously, to help? Because coming from the place that you came from, and so the work you do now, and the great knowledge that you have, both from experience and from learning, and training yourself and going through training yourself. You work with individuals, I know now, and obviously you do those workshops. In the work that you do, and coming from the place that you've come from in terms of your own challenges and using these skills and this knowledge to develop a great new position for yourself in terms of the direction you wanted and the direction you want, and you're really creating your path now, and almost you found your purpose. Within your purpose, how does that manifest in terms of do you help individuals who are struggling with similar challenges that they need to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Quite often, if we can, we'll signpost people through to looking at, one of the other things that we do in terms of retreats and so on.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I do a lot of one-to-one work with people. So that can be anything from, I guess, classic coaching type things. As there's an area in my life that's not really working for me, or I'm struggling in a relationship, those kind of things. Also through to health stuff, I love helping people stop smoking, for instance. And that's something that whilst I've never been a smoker, my parents were smokers and people around me were smokers. And I've noticed that when the time was right, they stopped for them. It's about having people connect with that right time to do and make a change.
Yeah.
So that's what I tend to do when I help people stop smoking. And that's something where the majority of that's actually done in half a day. And then there's a sort of whole process of some follow-up sessions. And that's generally what we do when we're doing the one-to-one coaching, is actually you get to spend half the day really unpacking everything, focusing on your stuff. And then there's some accountancy, so kind of holding you to account through that process, and doing some coaching and sort of follow-up stuff.
Great.
I've helped a couple of people in the last couple of weeks who are both busy professionals, and they hate flying. And so I did some work with them in order to help them get past that fear of flying. Although quite often it's never the fear of the flying, it's something around it. So that's part of what the sessions are about. It's whatever your problem, whatever you tend to think your problem is, it usually isn't that, it's something else. So it's kind of going under, we are like those onions. We kind of peel back a layer and another layer and another layer and another layer. And that's what's the brilliant thing about, learning and doing what I do. It's just helping people know a bit more about themselves. The main thing with any of this, though, is that whilst I have some experience, I don't know your world. I don't know you. I don't know what works. So it's always about getting the individual to come up with their solution.
Yeah.
So the art with great coaching isn't telling somebody what to do. It's about them realising how they need to fix it for themselves. And as soon as you get those aha moments, and people watching this, you probably had your own light bulb moments, and suddenly everything just made sense, or it clicked into place. And that wasn't anything happened around you. That was you that actually suddenly had that light bulb moment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Those moments, then you find your passion, then you find your purpose, then you get your legacy. What are you leaving behind when you're not here? All those things. If that's important enough to you, then you will start to do things. So what a lot of what I do is, and the same thing applies in the workshop, it's about having people focus on their motivation. So if you're motivated to do something, you'll change it. And so that can manifest itself with a lack of confidence, or with some fears, or with procrastination, or a feeling of like, I just don't want to get up today. If you're motivated towards doing something, you really focus on why it's important to you, you'll just get on with it.
Yeah.
You won't procrastinate, because that just won't even come into your brain about doing that.
Yeah.
So quite often, just spending a bit of time with somebody, working with them one-to-one, allows them to focus on what's important to them about it, rather than what they need to do.
Yeah.
When you're motivated, just do it.
Can you recommend any places for people to start? Just like, obviously every journey is made up of a lot of steps. Are there any beginning points where people can start to kick off their own assessment of their motivation?
So a good one to do, a good little exercise that I do with clients, which is looking at the value of something or what's important to you. So think about a goal or an outcome that you would like to have in the next year or the next 6 months. And write that down. We're not going to worry too much about getting smart or any of those kind of things. Just write down the goal and imagine that you've kind of achieved it. So rather than saying what I want to do next year is lose some weight, think about, okay, what do I want to gain? So next year, what I want to be able to do is walk up 20 flights of stairs without being out of breath. Or what I want to do next year is the London to Paris bike ride. So think about it as a goal, and then write it down as if you've just achieved it. So I've just crossed the finishing line on the London to Paris bike ride, and I feel knackered and exhilarated, and the people around me are cheering. That kind of thing. Really make it sensual, evoke it. Really put yourself there.
Yeah.
And think of that goal. And then on some post-it notes, write down maybe one word or one little phrase to post-it note. What's important to you about having achieved that goal? What's important to you about having achieved that goal? And so if it's a fitness goal, it might be that you're feeling healthy, that you can fit in that size 10 dress, that you can climb the stairs without getting out of breath, that you can play with your kids a bit more in the garden. Yeah. So write down all the things and just think about what's important to you about having achieved that goal. And just spend a bit of time putting that on one per post-it note. And then when you've done that, lay out all the post-it notes in front of you and then categorise them. So what you do is put an A for things that are absolutely essential. So an A for the absolute essentials, a B for the important but not essential, and then the C for the icing on the cake. So A's are absolutely essential, B's are important but not essential, and C's are the icing on the cake.
Okay.
And then group them together. So put all your A's together and all your B's and C's together. And then what you should find that is you really want the A's. Yeah, this is what you will get when you achieve that goal. But if you're kind of thinking, well, actually, there are some of the B's and C's, there are probably some things that you need to move around. So just check that you've got all your A's in there and move any post-it notes across between the two groups if you need to. And then you've got your list. You've got your list of what's important to you. But also, you know that that's your motivation for doing it. So then what tends to happen is your behaviours and things will change. So spending a little bit of time actually focusing on the values, the important things that are going to happen basically when you achieve that goal means that actually think, well, why would I want to stop myself, or why do I not want to do these things? Or, you know, that's the difference between going, oh, I can't be asked to go to the gym today, and going, well, do you know what, actually if I do that, then my legs will get fitter, and if my legs get fitter, I can do the London to Paris, and if I do the London to Paris, I'm going to feel fantastic, so I already decided that. So what happens is you just get up and you do the things that you need to do. So that looking at your motivations is a really quick, I guess, top tip.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a great practice. And I know personally that actually focusing on not focusing on the motivation and the kind of like the thing that it will realize within your life is really, really important. And I've tried in the past the exercising, and I've had those I just can't be asked to go to the gym moments. But actually, it's reminding yourself of what all those moments build up to is the key. So that's fantastic. Thank you.
Every goal has steps.
Yeah.
Take the tiny steps to get to the big goal.
Yeah, and also absolutely. And the goal and the task are very different things, and the task is made up of lots of moments, and the goal is a kind of a thing at the end, right? Which is really, really useful to consider and think about. And
so there's another one that's a really good, quick.
Yeah, please. Well. Great to share.
Is if you've got something which is a goal, and it doesn't have to be weight loss, it can be anything. Becoming an amazing speaker, or getting your message out there, or doing those things, and you're finding that maybe times of struggle or motivations of struggle in that moment, you just think, is the thing I'm about to do going to put me further away or closer to my goal?
Yeah.
And that might be eating a particular food type, or having another glass of something, or that might be spending some time going to a training course, or it might be doing something or other. So just think to yourself, is this going to put me closer to my goal or further away from my goal? And if it's going to put you to your goal, and that's great. If it's going to put you further away but you're still happy with it, just know that that's your decision made. Just think everything has got that kind of path. So every time you kind of do something that's a bit closer, you're kind of getting towards it. Every time you're going something that's further away, you're kind of getting away from it. So just think, if your goal's over here and you want to go like this, you do all the little tiny steps to put you towards it.
Yeah.
You just can't get from there to there straight away.
No.
So it is that kind of curve of little steps that you have to take along the way.
Yeah.
To get you there.
Absolutely.
And if you end up diverting off that path, you end up going in the wrong direction. So just recognise that goals are made up of lots and lots of tiny decisions, lots of tiny steps, and sometimes you'll take leaps and things will really work out. And you'll notice that, and quite often you already start to know what your motivation is.
Can you recommend any good sources of knowledge and learning? Obviously, you came from a place of learning and training yourself in terms to get to what you wanted to be doing through your NLP certification and your your further education in that subject matter. Can you recommend any good reading or any great books you've read or sources of knowledge that people can get access to?
There's some great books around language and really focusing on what you'd like to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a particular book called From Contempt to Curiosity by Caitlin Walker, and she's written a really good book around using language within groups and yourself to focus on the goals. That's a really good one. NLP at Work's got a good book as well by Sue Knight. Those are probably two good sort of starting sources for kind of reading material, to know a little bit more about yourself and how you work, giving yourself some motivation. We've got some great top tips on our website, so head over to theconfidenceexperts.com.
Yeah.
We've got some top tips and resources and other bits and pieces as well.
Great.
And there's lots of things you can kind of tap into on there.
Yeah, great.
Just look around at the stuff that appeals to you. Lots of people share all these memes and all these little videos and all these kind of things. You just have to do a little bit more than share it on your Facebook wall.
Or just read them. You have to do it. They have to think about them. And I think the Thought Expansion Network, I mean, it's in essence a resource of knowledge, right, and a resource of information and a resource of brilliant people. So actually, I think these recommendations from you and ideally recommendations from all the other people, and actually sharing these areas that have influenced you, I think are really important, and these books that have influenced you and this thinking that's influenced you. And ideally from this video, I want people to, and from watching this, people should think about the things that you overcame and your decision and your choice to change things, and the action that you took. And I think the key thing is the thought, the decision, and the action. So I mean,
and also recognise as well. Put stuff out there. Share, ask, communicate with people. If you're too embarrassed to ask a question, you get somebody else to post on your behalf. So if you're on a group or something, email the group admins and go, "Did you post this anonymously for me?" I don't want to ask it myself directly or something along those lines. Questions,
absolutely.
And then also recognise that people will tell you.
And listen.
So come to your own decisions. People aren't necessarily great listeners.
No.
What they're going to do is they're going to write, because we can't not think about things through our own set of filters. So somebody asks us a question, in order to understand the question, we have to run it through all the things that we know about that question, about stuff that's happened to us in the past, our decisions, what worked for us. And so invariably what happens is somebody asks a question, asks for a bit of help, and what people go is, what you have to do is blah, 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 and what you need to do is blah, blah, blah. That's where the art of great coaching comes in, is go, okay, well, what do you think you need to do? What works well for you? And so also recognise that sharing it, getting it, and find out more information. Then try it on and see what works for you. And do the stuff that makes you feel better rather than what you feel you have to do.
Absolutely. Completely agree. And hopefully that is what people will continue doing with the questions and things that are asked in 10, and actually listening and giving options and opening up new thinking and almost expanding on the questions as well and the thinking. And it's recognising who you're inspired by, who are the people you want to surround yourself with, are the people that motivate you. Hang out with those people, find out where they go to, or ask people, is it alright if we have a coffee? Is it alright if I have a chat to you? People quite often will give you a little bit of their time, because we've all been in lots of different places, and we recognise the people that are reaching out or that want to make changes are the sorts of people that we want to hang around with as well. So with people, when we've run workshops and courses, you've got my email address, you've got my phone number, ring me up, you need to chat. Absolutely.
I'm not, we don't disappear off into a black limo and off to a 5-star hotel at the end of the session. Jump on the train and go home. So we're also normal people who have had stuff happen to us in our lives. So speak to us and talk to us, and that's exactly why 10 is such a great group. Because people on there have all gone through their the X factor of their journeys. and that is completely true. We've all had stuff that's happened to us in our lives, and sometimes we've handled it really well.
Yeah.
Other times we haven't.
Yeah, absolutely.
The question is, it's that do something, learn something about yourself from it,
Yeah.
and then decide what you're going to do next. And sometimes that's the same thing, and the same thing happens. And you go, right, okay, how many times do I have to repeat this stupid thing?
Yeah.
I learn a bit more about myself. So
Yeah, absolutely.
just keep repeating, feeding back, and all those kind of things. It really makes a difference. It's starting to recognise your own pattern.
Yeah, I think that point, and it's a fantastic point to leave the people watching this on, is actually that feedback, and realizing feedback doesn't only come from the external world. Yes, the feedback from the external world is extremely important, but also the feedback that you get internally and how you feel about things and the way you react to things is, and see it and analyzing that. I think we're terrible at analysing what's going on inside, and focus so much on analysing what is everybody else saying, what is everybody else thinking. So that's a really good place to leave people.
Trust your instincts.
To follow the word, to follow the word behind your head. Yes, absolutely. Trust yourself. Trust yourself that you know what's best. Trust. It's very important. Yeah. Awesome. Andy, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and your story has always been, from our discussions, always been one that's been kind of of interest to me, and actually how you changed those small things and grew and focused on how you would grow and made sure you paid attention to each of those steps is really, really useful, and obviously led you to where you are now. So thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure. And if anyone wants to get hold of you, they can go to theconfidenceexperts.com.
Yeah, that's it. This is what I do.
Correct.
Who I am. So reach out and say hello.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome, Andy. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Really good speaking to you.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cheers, Bye.
Bye.